Well, speaking of increasing prices, what's Russia's invasion of Ukraine got to do with you munching on your favourite sarmi? Well, a lot more than you might realise. The price of bread is expected to reach record highs, but we're only going to start feeling that pinch here in South Africa in about 3 months from now because of the knock-on effect of the economy. To make sense of it for someone like me, thank heavens, we have Grain SA Senior Economist Corne Louw. Corne, good morning to you. Just help me understand just how bad is this going to be and why only 3 months from now?
Well, good morning, everyone, and good morning to the viewers. I think just to give an idea, as you said, wheat prices internationally have increased significantly over the last month. Annually, it's a 33% increase. The last month only since the war, it's already a 17.5% increase in wheat prices. But to give the viewers an idea, wheat is between 18 to 20% of a bread price. So the feedstock, which is the wheat in this case, is a very small amount of the end consumer price of the bread. And because there's good competition between millers and bakers, it's not so easy to get through that input cost to the consumer because there's competition. And that's why there's a delay that prices might only increase between 3 and 4 months down the line.
Corne, I don't want to necessarily enter into a political discussion at all, and I'm sure neither do you, but just help me understand, before I talk about our government, what they can do in this country, just help viewers and I understand why is the war in Eastern Europe affecting the bread price? I was under the impression we produced quite a lot of wheat and maize in our own country. Well,
we are definitely self-sufficient in our summer crops. Especially maize. We have enough maize for our own consumption, and we export about 2 to 3 million tons annually. So there we definitely what we call as economists at export parity. So it's the lowest price we can have internationally, and therefore the cheapest maize meal in relation to other countries. But for wheat, we are a net importer. So normally we import a bit less than half of our demand. So we are exposed to global markets and imports. And because of that, we, not necessarily because we're dependent on Ukrainian or Russian wheat, we can import from a lot of other countries. But because they're such a massive player in for instance, the wheat industry in a global space, that affects international wheat prices.
And just before I say goodbye to you, Corne, is there anything that our government can do to help reduce that increase that we're expecting, bearing in mind that bread is often a staple for the majority of people in our country? What can the SA government do?
Well, I think in analysing the bread price and the build-up to what forms the bread price, something like logistics and fuel prices, energy costs, administrative costs, I think that's some of the low-hanging fruits we can contribute in the country. We've got a not very efficient transport system in South Africa. If we can maybe help with that, it will definitely help the end consumer. Something like fuel, we already expect on today's information that the diesel price might increase in April by more than 3 rand. And for me as an economist, that will have a bigger impact on the consumer and the bread price than the wheat prices would. So I think that's definitely something our government or a public-private partnership can look at.
Yeah, the next few months are going to be very, very tough because of what's happening over in Eastern Europe as well. Grain SA Senior Economist Corne Louw, thank you very much for your time in joining us this morning.